Yo my people, this video is a little different. I'm just going to highlight some comments I've seen on my videos so far. It's all good me talking and enlightening, but other Pisces are out here speaking too. And where better to find them than in the comments. I appreciate everyone's comments and perspectives. It's good to bring an overall awareness. Pisces represents both ends of the scale, rainbows and coffins. So it's not an easy sign to navigate, but it's better when you know you're not alone with the steering. Also, big up the non-likers, the non-commenters, and the non-subscribers who listens too. I know you exist because I'm one of them too. Beyond these videos, I'm a very low, stealthy guy. There's channels I've gone to from like a teen to like get some jokes or some form of entertainment or whatever, and I've never commented. I don't even use YouTube signed in. So it's to be expected in Pisces land, but I received your telepathic head nod, so it's cool. As long as you've received the message, I've done my part. Pisces before, Pisces now, and Pisces in the future will go through similar things being a Pisces, so where better to hear it from than directly from the fish's mouths, or fingers. So let's get to it. Philosophical Phoenix says, I've been every kind of Pisces you described in this lifetime, and have embraced my shadow self as well as my light. I've learned to limit my curses and hexes to what is actually deserved karmically, since the results of them have actually wrecked people. Example, I worked in restorative nursing for several years and overheard the director of nursing instruct charge nurses to force feed patients to prevent weight loss, to sedate patients to prevent weight loss, to sedate them in order to keep them from complaining to their family, and generally to deprive patients of dignity, even as they struggle desperately to recover from illness or injury. I was so enraged, I couldn't see straight, but I kept a smile on my face until I could think and plan what to do. Of course I reported it, but I had no proof, so I did it anonymously. Then I went home, collected ingredients, and performed a ritual to curse this woman, to do anything it took to remove her from power so she could no longer abuse the vulnerable people in our care. Within a month, she had lost everything. Her husband left, son went to prison, and she was escorted from our workplace by security after being fired in disgrace. I had only half believed in my own magic until I saw things like this repeatedly, and it scared me. I have also been on the receiving end of karma and curses, so I always make sure to ask that this curse will only land to the extent it is deserved. You see, this is a true Pisces right here. Let's break it down quickly. This Pisces had already embraced her dark side alongside her light, which you're supposed to do as a Pisces. She learnt to limit her curses to what is actually deserved. So this sounds like she went around cursing people in the shark mode, possibly. Then learnt to harness it all with wisdom and some karmic lessons she received. Came across an injustice in the workplace, was fuming inside, but controlled it to be able to tackle it. She ended up using her magic to deliver the deserved karma with a clear head. You see, this is what I'm telling you guys about Pisces. A Pisces will deliver your karma when it's needed, and cycles will be ended. I'm not personally into the hexing stuff, but it's still all in Pisces nature. It's all behind the scenes work. And what will be seen in the light is the results. Your karma. She reported it anonymously and then got spiritually active behind the scenes. Pisces don't start wars or even take part in wars. They just end them. And what's dangerous about this all? She overheard this conversation going on. Candles in the Woods says, I've met the devil. I shook hands with the devil. It's an energy, not a person. You can't see the devil. You feel the devil. It's horrific. Now I'm such a hermit, tapping into the laws of the universe. I just can't people anymore. I'm guessing they meant trust or with. I'm good with that. Life is magic. Life will be magic for everyone. So this Pisces basically met their own dark side. You see, when I say things like the shark, etc., you can literally break all this down to light force and dark force, God and the devil. When Pisces gets to the shark stage, they become aware of that demon energy inside. They connect with it, and it's not pretty. It's nothing to brag about, it's just what it actually is. But also, external demonic energy can enter a Pisces too. A Pisces can feel evil and do evil, knowing it's not even them that's doing all this. It's what's got a hold of them. But when it's their own dark energy, as it is there with every Pisces, this is what Pisces is scared of releasing onto others. They're scared of it until they are not, if they have to use it. As this Pisces said, the devil is an energy, not a person. Pisces is all about energies, good energies and bad energies, unfortunately and fortunately. Why Who says, this is how I know I'm a light Pisces, but I can get dark. But because I don't like the dark, I isolate and heal. That dark side is scary, but I fought through it and still fighting. I know I'm not evil. I want peace, not war, but people want war with me because, hell, that's their problem. You see, another fully aware Pisces statement right here. This is what I don't want people to misunderstand about these videos either. Unless a Pisces is dark-sided, they won't like to be evil, but they can really go there. They will feel that darkness in their soul, but a true Pisces literally just wants peace. A dark Pisces doesn't even want war. They just want to destroy. It may be a game to them, but there's no pleasure in it. Or maybe there is. It's not back and forth with Pisces. It's exterminate. Understand what the dark side of Pisces is. You won't even have the choice to defend yourself when they strike. It's not war if only one side is attacking. And that is also why a light Pisces does give in to an antagonizer. That war they try to start will be over before it even begins. Because the actual war only begins when the other person responds. And when they respond, no further response will come after that, because they'll be silenced by the Pisces. Aries starts, Pisces finishes. Never forget. Fiona says, I am a Pisces and my numbers are the same as Nikola Tesla. I am very creative, very private, and I read people very carefully. I love dreaming when I go to sleep because I travel to different places and meet famous people. I also fly in my dreams and communicate with dead people. I prefer being alone because I love to think. I don't like anyone coming into my space unless they are interesting, caring, and trustworthy. If you show me you are toxic, a liar, or full of bullshit, watch me vanish right out of your life. You won't see it coming, but oh boy, you will feel it when I'm gone because I love hard. But do not ever try fuck with me. You will regret losing me until you take your last breath. I love this comment because it starts off so fairy dusty Pisces like, then the fin starts appearing as it goes on. That's how the ocean can switch up on you. Seriously though, that's one of the good things about Pisces, the dreams. You literally travel to another place and meet other souls, dead and alive. The flying dreams feel so real. You feel so free. I've also had dreams where I'm running on all fours, like I'm a wildcat. But every stride I take, it's like I'm flying in between the strides. But this is a matured Pisces, and you know when you've met a matured Pisces because they will basically not put up with any nonsense. They will literally put their peace over anything, as cliche as that sounds. User says, without water, we will vanish. Too much water, we will drown. That's how Pisces are. Schnar Dude says, a fish ready to go is a nuclear submarine. Won't even know it's coming, but you'll know when it arrives. Roberto says, Pisces is life. When the end of the world comes, the only ones to survive are Pisces because we have seen it all before. As I've said in a video, the winter doesn't end in Pisces. Pisces ends the winter. We transcend after that. Rick Hunt says, if I have to kick the living shite out of someone, I see it as helping them. I'm helping them get along. I'm helping them get along with people and play nice. I could say more, but some things are better never said. Yeah, that's honestly real talk. A Pisces will beat the crap out of you and hope you learn a lesson for yourself. Not just to not fuck with that Pisces, but to be a better person overall. Just be nice. Luana says, friend of 20 years humiliated me in front of others at a party. Ghosted. 2 years now. Reciprocal flirt fest with someone younger. I backed off. He reacted like a typical scorned scorpion. Ghosted. 1 month now. Family members, total 17. Ghosted. 9. Keep it moving. Seriously, don't play about with a Pisces that don't play. It don't matter how long you've known them or think you've known them for. They will drop you quick if you take them for granted. No Pisces from the shark stage upwards stays around and takes any shit. And if they do, then it's even worse because they're storing that all for a later date. And no, you will not know this is happening. Otherwise, we keep it moving indeed. Batista says, there's no grey area with me. Depending on how you treat me, you either get the dolphin or the shark. I'm an ice water blood Pisces. I have no bonds. Definitely. That's why Pisces are the sign of the extremes. There's no half-hearted 50-50 thing going on. It's either they are 100% one way or the other, or it's nothing. That dolphin ride, yay, yay, can turn into a real-life Jaws shark scene in an instant. Beyond All Reason says, we like pain, whether we realize it or not. We like to consume what hurts us. That's why everyone will always say we are submissive, or we are always in toxic relationships. But that's because we are masochists. Not everyone is willing to be one, and that is why we are dangerous. That pain that we feel, we turn it to something. This is a very good point. The key point of that pain consumption is what this Pisces says at the end. We turn it to something. Never forget, Pisces are on a mission. They will give themselves to pain or abuse of all kinds. But that whole point is to end up reflecting it, channeling it, or disposing it. Would a Pisces like watching thousands being executed? No. Would a Pisces stay and watch thousands being executed? Yes. To enjoy it? No. But to absorb it and do something about it. Why the dreamer state of Pisces, the first stage, is sad is because the soul will keep leading Pisces to or attracting things that will hurt Pisces, but Pisces is supposed to conquer it. But if that Pisces person isn't aware of their role, all they will do is stay taking pain, which weakens them to the core. I saw one comment saying Pisces are the dustbins of the zodiac, and that's wrong. Pisces are the garbage collectors, not the dustbin. Get that right. Pisces are submissive, but not in a typical way. When it comes to other humans, the submission is to do something which includes positives too, like submitting to love and be loved. But we are only truly submissive to the Creator in the end, because that's when we become everything again. But is a true Pisces running from pain, like this Pisces says? Hell no. Pain is a part of life, like everything else, and Pisces is here to deal with it all, as they have dealt with it all by this stage. Stefan says, I was waking up to shark stage when I was 24, when I found out that someone deliberately exploited my kindness. With 30, I discovered psychic healing qualities. Now with 40, still expanding. The journey never ends. Also, I lived through the Aquarian Pisces archetype you depicted in one of your videos, as my father is an Aquarian. That's what it's all about, growth and evolving. Getting out of that shark stage is not easy at all, because I believe it's the longest stage. I like to believe I'm out of it, but I know I've still got learning to do. I would imagine I'm sitting just between the shark and the healer stage. I'm sure by 40 I'll be up to this Pisces level. Maybe I will dive into all the psychic stuff and that at a later time in life. And yeah, Aquarius can be a funny character when paired with Pisces. Pisces will have to form a defense one way or another for it to work out, because Aquarius will easily take control. You'll be relaxing in space with your feet up and see an Aquarius passing by in a spaceship, coming from and going back to Earth, grinning and smiling at you like they belong there. Gotta watch those aquatic travellers, I tell ya. Michelle says, I've experienced this so many times as a child. Those demonic demons tormented me so much as a child. Yeah, you see, Pisces children, they will be more prone than anyone else to spiritual attacks, because they are naturally spiritually open, so entities will literally try and enter. So the nightmares will be nightmaring quite often. To this day, some terrifying dreams that I had as a kid, I honestly cannot tell you if they were dreams or not. They felt so real. Sleep paralysis, all of that, and I don't care what science says. If I wake up midnight and I'm conscious, but feel I can't move, but also feel something sitting on me, you can't tell me that's my mind playing tricks. I've had those experiences way too many times to logically dismiss the spiritual aspect to it. God bless the people that have the type where their eyes are actually open, but can't move their body and actually see something demonic coming towards them from the corner of their room. God damn. Tanya says, as a young Pisces, I had about 15 fights and enjoyed them like a crazy person. It felt like a dark adrenaline with enjoyment watching the shock in people's eyes after a punch in the guts. I never understood it until I turned 20 and realised I could go to jail if I didn't control myself. I've changed that behaviour and cut people off forever to protect them. I'm happy as a loner. This pretty much sums up a Pisces anger. That is a very similar scenario to me. You'll think Pisces don't like war, and naturally, they don't until they get into it. Once a Pisces adapts to that energy, they will literally love it, no matter what it is. What calmed me down a little is when I started to think beforehand that if I fight this person and no one is around to stop it, then I'm going to kill them. Like seriously, once Pisces starts, they won't stop. This is why I feel Pisces has to go through that shark stage early. If not, then it can go left for the Pisces and the Pisces target because it will be done behind the scenes as an adult. I won't sit here and talk like a saint and that my wars stopped when I was young, but that I was used to fighting from young, it helped me be in control of how I handled war as an adult, which has been in a typical silent Pisces fashion. Before I was fully aware, that was a Pisces trait. When you're in your teens, school, college days, your fights and conflicts will more than likely be in public. It's kind of unavoidable. I used to still catch people off guard, but still when I attacked, people saw it. Once you leave any sort of school system and get into shark mode, if the right people aren't around to kind of keep you stable through it, then you'll go off the rails. So I fully get why this Pisces distanced themselves from any influence. Only Pisces knows what they are capable of. So when you see Pisces move in seemingly peaceful and non-confrontational ways, do not get that confused for being scared, etc. Because once that shark's awoken in a Pisces, it's always there to be unleashed. Deborah says, you can play with the dolphin or you can play with the great white shark. It's up to you. If only others knew they had this option beforehand so they can choose wisely. They just think it's dolphin, unfortunately. Shannon says, let's just say promising careers were ended after mistreatments, just as I said they would be. No lives were lost, but the hits stopped coming. You see, the crazy thing about this is, it seems this Pisces even gave a warning, which wasn't heard, so an execution took place. Do you know how damaging a Pisces' negative thoughts aimed towards you can be on its own? So if a Pisces warns you, believe me, they are trying to save you in some form or another, even if you're an enemy. But as Shannon said, the hits stopped coming, i.e. it went silent again, i.e. that cycle ended. Be aware, people. Eros says, no one knows where it is to be me or live in my world. Can you breathe underwater? I pictured a shark's fin as I read that. Dali says, I feel like we as Pisces are the true creators of ghosting. You're damn right. Pisces is the ghost of the zodiac. Ghosting is second nature. Others has just translated that to Pisces being cowards that run away and forget what happens when a Pisces stays when they were supposed to run away. Jason says, they don't understand that we can isolate them without them even realizing it, for either good or bad. No matter, they belong to us until otherwise determined not to. 100%. Once you are connected with a Pisces, you are in that Pisces oceans for all sorts of reasons. When it's good, cause trust me, Pisces will risk it all for someone they love. Risk it all. On the flip side, you will drown and no one will be able to save you if you're a target for whatever reason. This is also why people feel the effects in their soul when Pisces swims away, cause it's equivalent to being in a bulletproof car to riding a bike. You will feel open. That protection from that Pisces that would have came in all forms, physical, spiritual, will be gone. Your soul will feel naked. Virginia says, attitude of a Pisces is, if you start it, I will finish it. Hey, look at the laughing emojis with this statement. This is just typical Pisces. Batman and the Joker in one. That's Pisces. can be serious and joking at the same time. But in the grand scheme, we are not playing. But the smile on our face will make you think we are. Zen Life says, I used to be clinically depressed and my creativity was at its peak. Art and writing poetry. The day my depression started to lift, so did my artistic talents, and I couldn't understand why. This speaks volumes about us. I fully relate. I've never been depressed, but I've had many down times in my younger days, and same as you, I was very creative during those times. That was the only plus side of being down. On reflection, I think I was just channeling my negative energy somewhere. The more negative energy I had, the more creative I would be, because I had the energy to channel. That you've been writing poems and doing art before, it will return to you one day. And it's then you'll get to really enjoy what you're creating, because it will be more than just a negative release. Especially when it comes to music. Music and a Pisces negative energy will fit like a hand and a glove. That stream of negativity is crazy. Remember, Venus is art, and Venus loves Pisces. But Venus is the actual definition of not all that glitters is gold. So do the math. People need to put some respect on Venus's name. Mars been taking her credit. Eros says, in a fight, I become so relaxed and in tuned in the moment. I don't normally get a kick out of violence, but if you insist, I can be the one to give you a promise. Don't fuck with me. That's the scary beauty of it all. Pisces will adapt to whatever is thrown its way. They don't have to like it, but they'll get with it if needs be. Mira says, karma is my other fish apparently. Both of my exes received really bad karma when they hurt me. One I was with for 14 years. I terminated that relationship and he was tortured with bad health. Right leg cut off. He died a couple years ago. His health complications. The other ex I was with for 10 years until I terminated that. A year ago, he was in a bad accident and his right leg cut off. I hear his health isn't great now either. And I'm wondering if he has 9 years of life left. The time we were together. Just like the first guy suffered for the exact 14 years we were together. Karma is my other fish. Karma is this Pisces other fish indeed. That fish got a fetish for right legs too or something. God damn. Listen, Pisces men are crazy as it is, or can be crazy. But you see the women. Man, if you don't have good intentions with a Pisces woman or treat them bad, then you are literally playing with death. They literally do not have to do anything to you other than watch the spiritual world take revenge for them. And the ones that do take revenge, before the spiritual world reacts and basically calls upon the spiritual world, makes it 10 times worse. As a Pisces man, I've never been with a Pisces woman, but I know from the start, don't bother if my intentions aren't true, because I know I'll end up fucked up no matter how sweet that caviar is tasting. Men and women of other signs may not know this about Pisces women beforehand, unfortunately. So Young says, Pisces woman gives more than she should when she loves someone, but once you've hurt her, she's never coming back. Don't even try. Pisces are kinda bipolar that way. Either they are extremely generous and empathetic, or the epitome of selfishness and bitchiness. You will cross her mind now and then. She will cry about how you could have built a beautiful life together, but she will immediately replace those thoughts with every memory of how you hurt her. Take good care of Pisces women. Once you've pushed her past her breaking point, she will swim away and build a fortress wall especially designed to keep you out of her life. Do you know what's crazy about what this Pisceana just said? Is, even after all that, that fortress they built up to keep you out is also for your protection. This is exactly how Pisces is able to move on. Yeah, Pisces can miss you. They can maybe in their heart want to give you another chance. But all a Pisces has to do is remember that feeling you gave them and they will remain cold towards you. My mum's a Scorpio and I literally told her something like that a few weeks ago. That is how you stop repeating cycles with people who has hurt you. Don't be giving them chances to hurt you again just cause Saturn's time has softened you up. Yes, sit down and remember the good times you had all you want. Just also remember and never forget that feeling you had when you decided to swim away. As this Pisces said, Pisces will never come back, and to be honest, if you have hurt a Pisces and they do come back or they stayed around you, oh man, listen carefully. You are in the middle of an ocean. It's probably too late, even if you've just realized it. And Pisces is the only ones who knows how to swim in that ocean. So do the maths. Schnar Dude says, Pisces will become velvety battery acid on one's life and just sit back and patiently watch. Velvety battery acid. What a description. I wish that statement wasn't true, but it's the truth. That dark fish sounds cool, but in reality, no one wants to meet it. Not even the Pisces theirself. Dorian says, Pisces is the walking, talking, fuck around and find out sign. Ain't that true? Even if we aren't talking, we're still walking. We don't rule the feet for no reason. Robin says, music always settles me. Even though uplifting music is nice, it's my dark music that actually makes me feel better. Yeah, as I've said, Pisces is very comfortable in the dark as well as the light. It's Pisces' home. Pisces turns the lights off to see better. That applies to many different things. It's darkness that can wake Pisces up. Never forget that. That shark awakes in darkness, not light. Kai says, when I'm extremely angry, it's a blow mind. Dead end like a stone dragonfish. Killer Kai. Agnieszka says, I can get extremely angry. Mostly it comes up when I see greed, dishonesty, destruction, all the lower vibrations humans express. How should we handle that anger? Sometimes it feels like I'm hurting myself because it's so strong. The reason the anger is hurting is because you've absorbed it and done nothing with it. This is what happens with Scorpios in low vibrations too. As a Pisces, these things will be placed in your path for you to do something about it. And not out of anger either. You control the anger, then strategically combat whatever you're up against. You will hear other stories in this video from other Pisces who came across injustice and how they dealt with it. Cycles got ended. Take what you can from these videos, but also read others' comments and share your own comments, because there's nothing like an evolved Pisces, and there's many walking around in control of their self. And that control of self doesn't mean Pisces becomes passive. It's what makes Pisces the most dangerous of them all. Chels says, I do love my peace all across the board. I can't stand drama queens. My baby father is a drama king. Every bad thing he's done to me will always return. All I'ma say is don't fuck with me, cause I always bring peace. You won't get no alarm when I come, because I don't know how heavy anger will get, but I always give peace. Revenge is doing better than your enemies. Put yourself first, period. Point blank. Never allow a grown boy or toxic person to have power over what you do. Typical true Pisces right here, again. A Pisces bringing peace will leave with peace. What happens during that stay is down to the other person. And you see, when Pisces talks like this is Venus chiming in. And Venus bringing peace does not mean no war is involved. But yes, Pisces is second to none. Same way Aries is second to none. The zodiac literally goes full circle. And this is what Pisces must remember from Aries. Funny thing is, when you put yourself first as a Pisces, you end up becoming one with everything. And that is the Pisces you shouldn't even think of playing with. Grey Soul Authorized says, Billionaire gang, stand up. All jokes aside, all Pisces are rich internally. You're blessed with the Creator's gifts. Don't let it go to waste, because when you apply yourself and manifest, you have access to a universal treasure chest. Access to all good things and bad things. As I've been saying, the richest man in this whole world is not a Pisces for no reason. Mr. Burns really tapped in. And you tell me this, does his eyes look like a dream or a nightmare? Do you see good or evil in his eyes? He looks pretty evil to me. But do you know what the scary thing about Pisces is? You can get around this man and he can still have a peaceful vibe to him. And this is how and why Pisces can and will fool you. Billionaire gang, stand up indeed. Robin says, Pisces, Sun, Moon and Mercury with Scorpio rising. Unfortunately, when triggered, I get enraged and verbally cut down my opponent. They lose and are left bleeding on the floor. I don't even remember what I said, but feels tons better. Yeah, you see, this Pisces has very intuitive placements alongside being a Pisces, so this is someone who will know exactly what to say to carve someone apart. I'll say Libra, Scorpio and Sag are people you don't want cussing you. And Virgo, because they will break you down horribly. And that's cause it's around those stages when you realize fucked up things about your own self and others. Pisces is when you really know everything internally, so know what to say to absolutely break someone. And that's why Pisces may think twice about saying it. But when they do, you'll learn why Pisces are typically reserved people when it comes to violence in all forms. It's always the quiet ones, never forget. You won't like when they get loud. Mrs. M says, I recognize myself in the sharks part. I let someone stumble into their mistakes while thinking I am a weak idiot who they could hurt forever. They don't know I am forgiven while counting their mistakes, one by one. When it is too much, I take them for a peaceful walk while giving them enough rope for an elaborate non-escape plan. Listen to the words, people. Read the words. Look how much awareness, how much calculation is taking place whilst remaining calm in execution. This is how you can easily see why Pisces is an evolved Scorpio, because Scorpio does the same thing, but you know it's coming. You will feel it, you will sense it. The only problem for a Scorpio's enemy is they don't know when the Scorpio will strike, and that's how they get stung. With Pisces, forget even thinking of when they'll strike. You won't even think they're plotting in the first place, and that's why it will always hit you by surprise in more ways than one. I won't even say this commenter, Mrs. M, is a shark stage Pisces. She's the stage above because she is fully in control of her emotions, which allows for plotting and a successful execution. Shark mode Pisces is connecting with the demon inside and testing it out. The stage after that is already knowing what they can do to you and deciding when to do it. Pisces Smith says, because people think we're goldfish and don't realize that we're sharks, and you're right, no two Pisces are alike. I'm a Pisces, Taurus moon and Scorpio rising, and when I tell people give me 50 feet, they know what I mean, and we pay attention to everything, and we are really good at ignoring you, even if we're in the same room with you. Also, many serial killers have been Pisces. John Wayne Gacy, the BTK killer, Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, Eileen Warners, Francis Hung, Stephen Kraft, Christine Foulin, Charles Edmund Cullen, the list goes on and on. Pisces serial killers are notorious. I went through the other signs lists and they have the odd recognizable names, but the Pisces ones are known. And that's not nothing to brag about, but their names alone are known regardless of them being Pisces. They're like celebrities in a weird, sick way. But that just sums up Pisces and the world we are actually in. Richard Ramirez, for example, was called the Death Row Romeo because of the female attention he got after being convicted. With all that night stalking, world wars, the Holocaust, the mafia, notable Pisces are all up in those worlds. It's all there to be researched. How Pisces are mainly painted as weak drug addicts or angels amongst astrologers is crazy because the demonic ones are just as or even more prevalent than the saint ones. Respect the fish, don't upset the fish. Deli Derry says, okay, a Pisces and a Pisces showdown. Who wins? Brianna says, the bigger fish. And seriously, that's the answer, the bigger fish. A Pisces versus a Pisces is a fight to the end, if they both are at that evolved level. But if you have a Pisces dreamer going against a Pisces shark, the dreamer's getting ripped apart. Every day of the week, ripped apart. I wouldn't bother going up against another unless you're willing to take it as far as it can go and put everything on the line. Because even if one of the Pisces submits and appears that they've backed out, you will never know if they're going to come back to finish you off. and can be left in that state of wonder for the rest of your life. It's really not worth it, because that worry can make you even go finish that other Pisces off to stop the chances of them ever seeking revenge in the future. But in the grand scheme of things, as Brianna says, the bigger fish wins. Always remember, fishes eat other fishes. Lily says, Pisces don't take revenge, the divine does it for them. Maybe we can instead say, Pisces doesn't have to take revenge, because the divine does it for them. If we sit and say Pisces don't take revenge, we'll just be lying to ourselves and others. Denise says, to me, the other zodiacs are like plants, planets and wildlife. We know a lot about them. Pisces is like the sea. We don't know much about either of them. We don't have the technology to explore more. Just like when you meet Pisces, you want to know more, but you don't know where to begin. Because our mind is like the sea. It's deep and can stretch far, far away from civilization. P.S. I'm a Pisces. Beautiful analogies here. It really does explain Pisces compared to the rest of the zodiac. Sarah D says, I am Jewish, and when someone passes away, we cover all the mirrors in the person's home. We believe the soul doesn't leave right away. There are many Kabbalistic reasons for covering the mirrors. I think all religious stuff and spiritual beliefs will all tie in with Pisces knowledge in the psyche, because Pisces literally is the I believe sign. Religions, cults, etc. is more a branch off from it, but Pisces will be tied to the source of it. So one Pisces can have many beliefs that could align with all sorts of religious beliefs. I'm sure any Christians, Muslims, Jewish, Hindu, and so forth can relate to some things a Pisces says or how they see things when that Pisces may not even be religious themselves. This is why when you come across a Pisces that is like religious but are against another religion or they're racist, they are not a true Pisces, because all is one with Pisces. When you're tapped in as a Pisces, you will not only see it, but you will feel it. Yes, as humans we do different things, but as spirits, we're all from the same source. Fundamental Coach says, I was there, in my shadow side. I didn't feel anything and was scared by my air side. I understood that the devil got a grip on me. I changed by turning to God again. I'm the total master of emotions and thoughts and anyone I want to be the master for. I better stay in my heart, otherwise I'm dangerous. Even with the seriousness of what this Pisces is saying, they put so much laughing emojis. But seriously, the main thing here is being aware of it. Once you're aware of that dark side, you have the choice. Yes, as a Pisces, you have the choice what to do with it. As this Pisces says, they chose to stay in the light side and be in control of their self. And that's evolved Pisces status there. When people hear Pisces do badness, they think it comes from a loss of control or an overwhelming feeling of emotions, like cancers. No. With Pisces, it's always a conscious decision. They make that choice to hold hands with the devil basically, but can also be taken over by an entity. Pisces are dangerous people overall, because all this takes place behind the scenes. I cannot stress that enough. Karen says, Pisces are lovely people inside and out. We will be open and honest in life. People get one chance. Once we are done for good. Definitely, this is Pisces' default nature, peaceful and loving. You will never expect the glacier Pisces can put up when they are done with a person or situation. User says, the worst part about being a Pisces is that I can either be a good friend or a good enemy. If a person starts to disagree on every point and mentally classifies me as enemy, I will surely see that, no exceptions, and I will gladly comply and be the most disgusting person to them, and broadcasting directly opposing views to them even if I don't endorse these views usually, simply to get rid of that connection for good. You wanted me as an enemy, you got it. All while even my enemies are my friends, so to speak. I can learn from them a lot. No one plays devil's advocate better than a Pisces, and they will surely use this method to oppose someone. Pisces can also just use it to open the other person's mind to another's way of seeing a situation too. The whole time they'll be thinking the Pisces is speaking about their self, when all they've done is put their self in another's shoes, embodying that person's perspective. It's a crazy skill to be able to effortlessly do this as a Pisces, honestly. That part of the 12th house is about hidden enemies. I think some astrologers or people in general see or saw that as Pisces are the type to have hidden enemies and not be aware. No. Pisces will know if someone sees them as an enemy even before that person theirself even comes to that conclusion. The best thing a Pisces is able to do with an enemy is simply match their energy. It don't matter what timing that person is on. If the Pisces chooses to go there, then they will. And they will also go further than them, if needs be, so be aware. Nia says, I scare myself when I'm in that zone, but I pick and choose when I want to get there. I can't be baited. Again, typical Pisces. A Pisces will choose when to go there. You don't decide if a Pisces reacts. The funny but scary thing with the dark side of Pisces is every Pisces knows within their soul, if they choose violence, they will not come out worse in the end. A Pisces will just feel that they have that capacity to go all the way with that energy. And that is the scary realization about it all. So it has to be worth it. Because on Earth, there is limitations. Like prison, life sentence. Yeah, Pisces can ride that, but we ain't trying to be locked up nowhere. G-Men says, I'm a Pisces Scorpio rising making music, different types. But sometimes I feel like nothing even matters in this 3D dimensional material world and I want to get out. I don't feel at home here in the Matrix. It's a clown world, honestly, with a bunch of programmed robots all around me. Any woken Pisces will feel this way in their soul, cause Earth isn't a Pisces home, simple as that. That's why we're the dreamers. We bring things from our imagination and other worlds here to Earth, literally. It's just essential to be careful with those thoughts. We all matter. We all have a purpose. Pisces are very prone to suicide when unhealthy because we can become nihilistic. The world is fake. The people are fake. Everything's an illusion. The problem is that we can see through it. But this is also a blessing. We just got to use it to our advantage until our time's up. Music's good for the soul. Just be aware of what you are creating and consuming. So nothing is a surprise at a later time. Irene says, I'm here now because my stepdaughter hurt me bad. And the only reason I did so much for her was on the strength of my husband. I really am not trying to feel this way, but I'm ready to swim away. And it's so bad to the point I don't even want her in our wedding. Asked her to be bridesmaid because she hasn't apologized yet. My silence from here on out will speak volumes for itself. So no need for anything else. Signed, a hurt Pisces. Those family issues are always tough regardless of what sign you are, but it will cut a lot deeper as a Pisces, as I'm sure you have probably let other things slide from your stepdaughter. That swimming away feeling will be strong when a Pisces is hurt, because you not only need to heal alone, but that mirror inside will start wanting to deflect and project that hurt. And I'm sure you don't want to harm your stepdaughter in any way. That is literally why Pisces swims away more time. It's not to hurt anyone, even when they're hurting. It's even worse when the spiritual world reacts for you, because you can witness your stepdaughter's karma and know exactly why whatever happens to her happens. Hopefully she comes around for everyone's sake in your situation. Michelle says, the lone wolf stands tall, a symbol of individuality and strength in the face of conformity. In a world where the masses often follow the crowd, the lone wolf's unwavering spirit and independent nature set them apart, granting them an inner power and resilience that is unrivaled. Pisces. Beautifully written. I've said Pisces can be like leopards and jaguars before due to the hunting nature and the active camouflaging, but wolves are definitely a perfect overall example of Pisces on land. I bet howling at the moon is therapeutic as hell for a Pisces too. Ow! S. Harris says, think of the Pisces character duality like the goldfish and the kraken, Leviathan, and all in between. The calm still waters and the raging tsunami. That's exactly what Pisces is. It's everything. It's both ends of the scale. It's funny reading these descriptions because online it's like fantasy stories and myths and myth comparisons. But in real life, Pisces are literally angels and or demons. They are real life like that. It sure does sound cool saying Pisces is the Kraken, but actually seeing a Pisces be the Kraken will let you know there's no myths going on here at all. You will feel like it's a giant octopus with 8 arms attacking you when they come sink your ship. Believe that. Tamers says, I am a femme fatale, Piscean. I have no patience or mercy for evil men who do women, children and me wrong. Watch out for Pisces women. We are every woman. Simply amazing. And we are also lethal and deadly. Don't mess with us. I mean, when a Pisces woman is the first American female serial killer, then that's all you need to know when it comes to how dangerous they can be. Obviously, not every Pisces woman is about that, but they sure can be. Never forget this about any Pisces you meet. That shark is there. It's staring you right back in your face no matter how that Pisces woman acts. Act wrong and it will be the last thing you see. Chronic Fish, what a name, says, I think Pisces in loving mode, compared to its angry mode, is equivalent to that of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yes, Chronic Fish, Pisces is literally that. One thing about Pisces is, they will handle every emotion how it's supposed to be handled. If you're with or around a Pisces, they will take you on a roller coaster of emotions, which from the outside looking in, won't make sense. From laying down, cuddled up with your boo, with a pre-planned sharking to do at midnight. Yeah, Pisces is with it all. It's whatever the weather. There's no sign more mutable, more go with the flow than Pisces. And there's no sign more free-willed than a Pisces. It's a beautiful and scary thing at the same time. And when others realize this is what they fight against. Someone who's not controlled like they are. Ahudi says, only Pisces understands the depths of Pisces. We are very abundant. I love how you touched on Mayweather. It's more than his defense if you watch him very closely. His movements is very elusive, like catching a fish in the water. We are always alert. Always. We see through people's psyche. That is why I'm a loner and introverted. Bless us fish. I don't know what fish needs to hear this, but don't be afraid of your powers. Embrace it and you will learn to accept and learn self-love. It's true though. No one other than a Pisces will understand a Pisces. That's why you need to know who you're listening to when they are speaking Pisces. It's good to learn from everyone, but let's say the person you're listening to is a Taurus, for example. They are giving you their perspective on Pisces as a Taurus. So keep that in mind when listening to astrologers. Do your research on what sign they are at least. I just do these videos from a Pisces perspective and flinging astrology stuff to make it make sense. And seeing as every sign happens to be in Pisces, you kind of have to explain others too, because all signs play a part in Pisces makeup. Aries is the first sign representing one, as in the self, but Pisces represents one, as in all. And yes, Floyd Mayweather, Money May, Pretty Boy, is the best modern day example of a Pisces in action. Just watch a few Mayweather fights and translate what he does or done in the ring to different scenarios in life and you'll get a better understanding of Pisces. Be like water. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Nah, float like a lily pad and sting like a ray. Jenny says, so proud to be a Pisces and not afraid of death. I'm just serving my time on earth and doing my best to heal other people. Like a true Pisces should, Jenny. Like a true Pisces should. Fearless and a healer. That is peak level Pisces. Ocean Lover says, well, this was in response to a Capricorn who was basically saying Pisces are see-through, weak, sensitive, etc. from a Pisces they know. So Ocean Lover says, all I can say is that your perceptions might change if you're ever the personal target of a Pisces vengeance. Get back. Get off me. If you're never the personal target, you might never find out. But if you're the personal target, that is surely an unforgettable way to mess around and find out. A sensitive person will beat you to death. Ferrari Shepherd, a Piscean by the way. Many Pisceans don't even have to consciously go there. We have a very interesting relationship with the unseen world. That was written perfectly. Nothing further to add. Irene, another response to that Capricorn, says, as a Pisces that has been greatly trained by her Scorp husband not to think with my heart but with my mind and has mastered a great poker face, I say that this comment is far from the truth because there are others like me. Trust me, when I'm hurt and turn cold, no one sees it until it's too late. That's fact. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Yeah, word of advice for everyone in general. If a Pisces is around a Scorpio, do not play with them. If a Scorpio is around a Pisces, do not play with them. What each sign can teach and show each other about the darkness of the ocean is not no surprise, but in real life, don't play with that duo. Andrew Graham says, adapt and survive and wait for the best time to strike. That's always served me well. You know what's funny? If you didn't know this was a Pisces comment on a Pisces video, you'll think a Scorpio said this. You think Scorpio are the only ones who wait for the perfect time to strike until you meet that Pisces stingray that's swimming in all that dark energy and is not drowning. Pisces are evolved Scorpios when it comes to that water energy. Always keep that in mind. Sylvia says, Pisces are earth angels. They suffer badly from energy vampires, so have to learn to cope, be a hermit for a while and recoup their energy. 100%. Pisces are most prone to energy vampires. They will lock onto Pisces like an actual leech, and in turn, Pisces will want to understand them. One thing though, if someone is around you and draining you every single time, and that's all they are doing in your life, you yourself are probably stopping yourself from swimming away as a Pisces. Because the soul wouldn't be comfortable in that situation and will want to break free. If you've gone through the empathy stage with this person, learnt about them, understood them, etc., and there isn't any karmic work to be done, you're technically just allowing yourself to be taken advantage of for no reason. It's more the dreamer stage Pisces that will allow this behavior, not the shark or healer. Be a hermit and recoup for sure, but never just keep going back to that same source that is draining you in the first place. Lorraine says, no one goes silent like a Pisces. Indeed, one of Pisces' most powerful weapons, silence. Silence is loud as hell. Saturn Dancer 10 says, I've told many people do not mess with a Pisces. We are the first created sign, and we are the master of all zodiac. Not only that, we are wise, we have common sense, and we are not two-faced. Only if people cross our line. We look harmless, but once you step and press our button, you're dead meat. Chidede says, something that dawned on me recently in regard to the Libra and Pisces connection. These are the zodiacs of the houses of open enemies and hidden enemies. So when we team up against a common enemy, it definitely won't end well for the target. Yeah, most definitely. I focused on this topic in the mirrors video. Pisces and Libra are the main mirror signs for different reasons, but as this Pisces says, they simply represent open enemies in Libra and hidden enemies in Pisces. You don't want either sign as an enemy basically, and that's individually. So when they align to take down an enemy, it's curtains. We know hidden enemies are dangerous because, they're hidden. But why is open enemies dangerous? Isn't it great when you know your enemy? Well, it can be, but open enemies comes with hidden enemies. Yeah, you're at war with that person, but you don't know who that person knows. So open enemies always comes with hidden enemies. Evolved Libras knows people like no other because that's literally their mission at that stage. Aquarius knows others really well too, but they can choose to be loners and be comfy doing their own thing. They're evolved Libras in terms of the air element, but Libras literally has to connect with others, so Libras gains connections. Many connections which you most likely won't know about until a Libra is your actual enemy. Now you got people knocking on your door pretending to be UPS. Meadow Soprano says, when you think about it, you are really swimming with sharks in their domain. Smorgus says, Pisces is the conglomeration of the worst traits of every sign in my opinion. Dealing with one Pisces in my life was enough. Combat Pretty replied, laugh out loud, showed you who you was, huh? I found this combo funny. Even though Smorgas isn't wrong, but Pisces is not only the worst traits. And they blamed their experience on this about every Pisces. Then a Pisces came in with the facts. For real though, this is what you see online. Many people having bad experiences with Pisces. And even if I exclude Dark Pisces for a second, do you know a lot of these people are referring to a light Pisces? They could have had a light Pisces in their life and ended up having a bad experience and now wants to tarnish their name when, like Combat Pretty said, they showed you who you was. You can't go moaning to any Pisces about something someone else done, because immediately Pisces will inquire or look at your contribution to receiving that treatment. Don't go around the mirror if you aren't ready to see your own reflection. And if Smorgas did have an encounter with a Dark Pisces, let's say a little prayer for her, because she will be internally suffering. I sympathize if it's a Dark Pisces people really did get fucked over by. But more times than not, it's a light Pisces they tried to take advantage of and got shown. Eros says, we are the end, like karma. Sometimes we are your karma. Mac says, because I'm the miggity. No, I'm playing. A fish ready to go off on you might surprise you a lot. My best trait has been to be stubborn. When I do use my anger, I'm almost as bad as a Cancer. It's toxic. Maybe that's why brother and I are alike. Yeah, glad you mentioned Pisces stubbornness. Pisces can be stubborn as hell, like a Taurus. Because of that Venus influence, Pisces will exhibit Taurus traits as well as Libras if you pay attention. Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, they are all similar. Trust me, any Pisces that has been around the other water signs in real life will know what I talk about in these videos. They are literally like Pisces' younger siblings when all signs are matured. If you're almost as bad as a Cancer, then you need to rein that shark in, my fishy friend, as it probably means you lose control. Once in control, you realize you are actually worse than Cancer and Scorpios, unfortunately. Laurel says, quoting Bruce Lee, you must be shapeless, formless, like water. When you pour water in a cup, it becomes the cup. When you pour water in a bottle, it becomes the bottle. Pisces Stalker, what a name, says, I am good, I am evil, I am Pisces. North Mountain Fairy says, I will tolerate a lot, but when you push too far, I will acquaint you with regret. And woe be to anyone who has pushed me so far I'm on the offense. I don't play, I win. This is one thing I love about being a Pisces. It's being able to beautify evil shit. I can tell this Pisces is smart from the words they used, but deep what they are actually saying. We're just a different breed and no lies were told. Lady K says, mobile phones, flat screen TVs, computer and or tablet screens are all black mirrors into various dimensions. We know that spirits come and go through regular bathroom silverback mirrors, so anyone ever black mirror scary? I think she meant ever find black mirrors scary? I do. And I've seen many spirits moving in and through mirrors and flat screen TVs. Yes, this is all true. Mirrors are portals. I've seen 2 ghosts off the top of my head in mirrors. I know someone who's seen something come out of a mirror. Any form of screen is a portal. It's all about frequencies and energies. A couple years ago, I was using my selfie camera just to look at something on my face because no mirror was around. And you know how the camera auto focuses on a face with that yellow box? So it had like a yellow box around my face, then a few seconds after, another small yellow box appeared in the background as if a kid or something of that height was in the background. Like it picked up a face that was not visible to the human eye basically. Some will say it's just a camera glitch, others will say dupping or hoof right. Smart Sexy Fun says, my old manager had to find out the wrong way. She tried to get me to lose my job, etc. Well, I controlled my emotions, moved in silence, and got my co-workers to speak up only in truth with clever coaxing. Notice I say old manager. She's not our manager anymore. Her daughter was fired and we have peace in our department and I'm good. She tried the wrong one. Fuck around and find out. Do you see? These type of stories are reoccurring in these comments and it's not no surprise. This is what Pisces are truly about. They're the cycle enders of all kinds. The key with any sort of work-related issues or just situations involving others in general is always controlling your emotions as a Pisces, which let me tell you, as a Pisces that feels every fucking thing and is naturally absorbent to all energies, it's hard work to control it all. But when a Pisces does, this will always be the result. This is where evolved Libras and Pisces are similar. Open and hidden enemies. They will take you down. Gracefully, of course. The noise will go silent again. Peace will be restored. Silence is bliss. Andrew Graham says, Dark side? You mean like normal? That's exactly what I mean with all these videos. The only reason I have to state it's dark side is because of all the fairy dust that's been sprinkled over Pisces online. The title of these videos should really be the real nature of Pisces, because Pisces is light and dark. But standard descriptions for Pisces is some weak, delusional, sensitive, lazy person. Just Google Pisces traits right now and read the first article. Even if they've got a dark side section, it'll just be like, Pisces are lazy or can be manipulative, passive aggressive. No. Pisces can be the dream or the nightmare. I reckon articles on Pisces going forward will be more accurate because there's others who speak on Pisces' true nature too. We're just lost in that fairy dust pink cloud shit. Trust me, as a Pisces man, if all this Pisces dark side talk was around when I was younger, it would have helped me a lot more in understanding myself from a Pisces standpoint. Had to handle that shark phase alone, like many others had to. What I saw online about Pisces always told like 50% of the story, so I couldn't relate and wasn't interested. Yeah, I'm a lover boy and like to draw, but Timothy and his mates broke into my grandmama's house. Why have I got dark thoughts now? Why am I going to hunt Timothy down tomorrow? Why can't I sleep? Why don't I feel like drawing or chatting up girls now? What do you mean Pisces don't like violence and cry a lot? That's not what's going on in my head. And my eyes are dry. I don't forgive Timothy. I'm going to find Timothy and inflict irreversible damage. What do you mean Pisces won't hurt a fly? You get the gist. I'm sure that's the same for many Pisces men, especially when it comes to researching Pisces, because Pisces is about feelings and shit. So it makes Pisces sound soft. So the Pisces men will likely dismiss it. We all know the goldfish Pisces, but what about the shark ones? What about the Pisces who are both the goldfish and the shark? We need to call a spade when it comes to Pisces, that's all I'm really saying. Sometimes it isn't fairy dust everywhere. Sometimes it's blood. Imeska says, I am a Pisces, ghosted by a damn Pisces, I should have known. This comment cracked me up when I first read it. Well hey, another Pisces taught you something about yourself. As another comment said, who wins in a Pisces versus Pisces situation? The bigger fish. Always the bigger fish. Dirt to Clean says, March 8th. Sometimes I hate being in touch with others' emotions. Yeah, I've been there, especially in my teens. It's key to master deflection as a Pisces. You don't need to absorb everyone's energy. Yeah, we're empaths and sponges, but it needs to turn from subconscious empathy to active empathy. That way, you're doing something with the energy you absorb. When you're not actively absorbing, you'll literally just be chilling. This is why Pisces can get confused for air signs and not taken seriously when it comes to serious stuff, because when we're in a chilled mindset, we're fun people who just wants good vibes. We're people's people at the core. All the dark side talk aside, we must not forget we're ruled by Jupiter, bringing us all that joy and happiness, and Venus's exaltation giving us that je ne sais quoi, and Neptune giving us that real magical sparkle. We aren't a part of that fucked up mutable group for nothing. You think the cardinals or the fixed signs can chat to the mutables when it comes to real fun? Fuck no. We're the crazy ones. If this was school, the mutable table will be up to the most bullshit. We can rip on Geminis all day, but we share similarities with those think and feel and Sag and Virgo. Others just don't know about the other side to that fun side. They get an idea, but literally haven't got a clue when it comes to Pisces, because we're the most mutable of all. We're literally water, man. H2O, man. That empathy sponge switch is there for all Pisces to find. With self-awareness, you wouldn't change being a Pisces for anything. It's literally a blessing to be one. The soul's been through much more things than we can imagine. Elvis says, "You finally told our secret, but anyway, they will not remember." That's the facts of these videos. In reality, the majority of what I say will go over everyone who isn't a Pisces or got heavy Pisces placements heads. I'm speaking about 12th house things. Things not obvious. Things that are hidden. Things beneath the surface. Others won't see it until they see it. And when they do, they just got to hope they are not seeing it because it's coming towards them. Sue says, "For as saintly and sensitive Pisces is known to be, that shadow side is just as dark. That side reminds me of Scorpio. They just aren't as loud as Scorpio is about it." Yeah, you're right. This is the whole point I make when it comes to the water signs. All elements, to be fair. The elements share similar traits, but the last signs of that element is where like mastery of that element potentially comes in, because it's learnt from the previous signs in that element. So Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces are all similar. It just gets more shadowy as you go along the zodiac. So who is the most openly dangerous out of the water signs? It's Cancers, because they're the first with the energy, so it's raw and uncontrolled. If a Cancer switches, trust me, something's getting ripped and everyone will see it. Scorpio is as dangerous as Cancers, but learn to conceal it. But what gives Scorpio away is their aura, so you know it's there with them, but you might not see when they act, because they learn from Cancers to be more hidden. Scorpio is like the stage of learning to control that energy, so sometimes they may not even act out. They'll act on learning and controlling their feelings. Pisces now is like a Scorpio that's not only fully hidden as that dark aura isn't detectable, but they are also in control of it. They've learned how to use the energy and control their feelings. The planets is what helps each sign at their stage to accomplish what needs accomplishing. You can look at each element the same way. So not only is Pisces the most dangerous water sign when you break it down, but also the most dangerous zodiac sign, as all the elements' lessons is in the Pisces psyche being the last sign, not just the water signs' lessons. Laurel says, "And this is why all my exes leave me alone. Several of my own sayings out of survival mode. If I had killed him, I'd be out by now. Next, if I were a venomous snake, I would bite him. Game on. I could go on. Just trying to find balance." You know, from this comment, I know that is absolutely nothing compared to the thoughts this Pisces would have had running through their head. Bet their partner didn't even know they thought this way. Or maybe they did and didn't care. I'd count my blessings they got out unharmed if I was them. Cause from them thoughts enter a Pisces head, that's the start of it all. And that becoming a reality is usually not far if that situation continues. Blake says, "I'm a Pisces Aquarius. I have first-hand experience with giving yourself to violence to protect a loved one. Trust me, it's not pretty. The law stops a lot of us from doing our job." True words. Not sure what Aquarius placement you have, but either way, neither sign is to be messed with. I grew up very close to an Aquarius and a Capricorn, my cousins. The Aquarius one is the typical wild Uranus type ones, and I'm still close with them to this day. But that's only because we ended up having a little scuffle in our early 20s, so we kind of backed off that Aquarius trying to control Pisces stuff. But they can be very, very dark people. Same as Capricorn, but Aquarius can be to the extent of being a liability. There's been a few times where I was not only controlling my own dark side in certain situations, but also theirs too, because they are random as hell. You can't tell no Aquarius, "Hey, let's just go over there and rush them. Give them a few blows then leave." the Aquarius could end up doing something that goes way too far, where you've now got a body on your hands. The difference with Pisces is, if that is the turnout, it will be because Pisces wanted it to go that way. They will create that reality. With Aquarius, they can get carried away, and it ends up that way when that wasn't the plan. That Uranus and Saturn energy isn't a joke. I also had another close Aquarius friend in my teens. I've had a couple actually, male and female, but the male one, whenever our group had trouble, he didn't even speak. He was very reserved, the Saturn type Aquariuses. But he'd just turn up with weapons, and it's go time. There's a weird partner in crime thing that happens with Pisces and Aquarius. I won't say it's harmonious, but they just kind of get each other. They're the oldies of the zodiac. And you're also right, the law does stop us all doing our job. What really is human nature? I'm pretty sure we will be moving like animals if laws didn't exist. Cannibals and everything. Your government will tell you you're not allowed to do what they do to others. Make it make sense. Demi says, "Oh man, so true. You can't tell me a full story and expect me to buy it. I might seem from another planet, but I hear every word I'm told." 1000%. Others don't know Pisces are Virgos when it comes to behind the scene things and energies. Contrary to popular belief, Pisces are very detail oriented people. Very detail focused people, low key. Hidden Virgos. They won't miss a thing. They'll pick up on it all. If anything sounds fishy, it will literally be like an alert will go off in a Pisces head. Leave out info in a story you're telling, those missing gaps will be highlighted. When Pisces gives you the benefit of the doubt, they'll ask you questions to allow yourself to fill in the gaps. If you don't, the way your story will be saved as a file to resume later isn't even a joke, because the truth will come out one way or another, and Pisces will be there to hear it when it does. Alexis says, "I've noticed the men that I've had a romantic relationship with in the past, if they crossed me, they always get the karma, but I'm not the one who delivers it." That's typical Pisces. It's not uncommon, especially if you've gone as far as connecting souls with one. If you play a Pisces after that, they don't even have to seek revenge. The spiritual world will literally work for them. And how a Pisces will notice it is if they are still around a person who has wronged them or are still in contact some way. They will see or hear bad things happen to that person and notice because they done them wrong. If Pisces does seek revenge on top of this, that's when that person is literally finished. Rubber Biscuit says, "I do not go silent to manipulate. I go silent after given a few chances to be sure who I am dealing with before I go silent. I go silent to stop the flow of energy with the one who hurt me and to gather my own energy. I go silent to draw my power, to plan how and if to deal with the situation. There is a lot going on in here. Most people don't relate. That's okay with me. People who are callous and disrespect me may hear some things they really do not want to hear. The ones who get pure radio silence are the ones who go into my depths and have been purged for all eternity, or until my next life. I see them coming and keep them out of my depths from the jump." Always remember that with a Pisces, they don't have to do a thing to you. Simply going quiet and swimming away does enough damage within itself. I go silent to stop the flow of energy with the one who hurt me. That is powerful. People around a Pisces really does live off their energy in one way or another. Cutting that supply, removing them from your ocean is all that is needed. Now, if they keep following and persisting after that, ignoring your boundaries, then that's another story. Now shut your ass up. Well no, write more actually. I'll do these videos every now and then, maybe every 10, 20 videos. It depends how it goes. I've got infinite ideas for this channel. But put your seatbelts back on and make sure that aisle is clear. We'll be arriving at our destination shortly.